the response. That will give the response. So we are going to we are going to send request. We are going to send our request. Both are same. Two params to the REST API. So what are the two parameter names? First name and last name. And the response or output. What it will give, for example, first name I passed as Apple Store. Second name I pass as technologies. That will give the response as will give the response output Apple Store. So it should be like this. Understand or not? So same way when we run the bank REST API, we have passed the parameter, right? So that is called path parameters or template parameters. Okay, so query parameters means you can append a queue on something, right? So that query parameters also we'll discuss in the coming classes. In this example, we will see the path parameters. So the logic, what you need to build, we need to build the logic of first name and last name concatenation and this hello prefix. This should be same for every first name and last name. So sometime user will pass the Apple Star Technology, sometime user will pass some name, some other name. So whichever the client will pass the parameters like first name and last name. So based on that, this will be changed. So we are passing at the request for two parameters, and we will get the response like this. Understand or not? Requirement, understand or not? So for this requirement, first we need to create the project. We need to create the project. So that we already discussed yesterday class. Second is, first step is what guys? Tell me. First I told you, right? First what you need to check? Adapter, na? Adapter, then connection, integration. So in this requirement, so what client clearly saying REST API, right? So we need to take the REST adapter. Okay, so adapter name is REST adapter. And what is the connection we need to do? Connection role.
Trigger and invoke.
Trigger invoke or only trigger or only invoke?
Trigger.
And integration, this integration they will run whenever they want. So what is the integration style?
App driven. App driven integration.
So there is no app driven. The name changed to application integration.
Okay.
So previous version they were using app driven. Now they changed to application. So
Yes,
I have
correct.
shown how to create the project. I'm going to show REST adapter connection and integration style. So now what we will do? Go to the integration instance. So you have any concern or any confusion, you can feel free to ask me. So let's go to the project. Project OIC 2025 project. First we will, so adapter we already know. So adapter we already know. So now what we will do, click on add connection. I'm taking the connection as added. So adapter no need to search here. No need to search here. Click on add. Just adapter. REST connection. I'm prefixing with the FIP25. FIP25 REST connection. So I'm taking the connection role is trigger. So this name can be any name. So adapter should be REST adapter. Role should be trigger. If you want to share this connection to other projects, you can like you can use this option. I don't want to share means you can mention like this. Some common connections are there, right? Some common connections you can use to other projects. So this is the trigger, REST trigger, right? So it is not common. Something like ERP connection and HCM connection. That time we will use this share with other projects. Click on create. Navigation, anything you missed, you can ask me. Yes, I can show once again also.
Vamshi, can you again?
Hello? Huh?
Can you show once again, Vamshi?
So, answer. Project creation yesterday I have shown, right? That also you want me to show? Project creation yesterday I have shown. So do you want to show once again that project creation also? You should respond, guys. When you are asking the question, no, you should respond, Srikanth.
Okay, sir.
What is mean by okay? So you're asking to create once again a project or connection?
Connection.
After you create the project, so click on add. Search the adapter name. So prefix the some name FIP25 REST connection. So connection role should be triggered. Click on create. Click on create. So security authentication should be, you can mention basic authentication. Security authentication, you can mention the basic authentication. Click on test. Save. So I will tell you guys in the future, I will tell you what I mean by OAuth, these two. So for now, you can do the basic authentication. So OAuth 2.0 means the token code will be generated. The token code will be in the real time, we will use this one, OAuth 2.0. So, but in the testing purpose, we are using the basic authentication. So, at the time of integration run, this token will be generated to run the integration. The first step is create the REST connection using the REST adapter. Okay, second step, creating the integration now. First step, connection adapter I have taken, connection I have created using the REST adapter. So third step is create the integration. So what is the integration style we need to take?
Application.
Integration, click on add, create. So click on add, this window will be open, create application. So application integration name I will give REST adapter, REST integration, REST integration. Click on create. So click on add, this window will be open. So you need to give the prefix something. Create. Okay. So this will be open, guys. To avoid the confusion, I will tell you once again. First, we need to create the connection. Then we need to create the integration. So now integration status is draft. I told you, right? If the integration have errors, integration status will be draft. So by default, when you create the integration, the integration have errors. Understand or not? Once again, I will tell you this. First, we need to create the connection, and I mentioned the connection type is trigger, and adapter I have taken the REST adapter. Then I have created the integration style is application, and version is integration status became draft. So now we need to pass the parameters to the REST endpoint, right? So that is the reason I am taking that. First starting point will be this one, this connection. First
Vamshi,
starting.
adapter means either REST or SOAP. Those are the two.
No, not only two, REST adapter, SOAP adapter,
Okay.
ARP adapter, HCM adapter. Anything.
So we are not creating, just we are using those.
Using the existing adapters. Yeah, correct.
Okay. So basically, adapter and connection in one step.
Yeah, adapter we are going to search in the connection window, correct?
Okay.
Adapter already existed, existing adapters are there. We are going to search the adapter names in the connection creation.
Okay, and using to create the connection. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll create the connection using the adapter. That connection we are going to use in the integration. Okay.
Vamshi, what is this 1.00?
That is version. For example, in the future, I would like to change the integration. This integration has moved to production. I wanted to change this integration some logic. Then at that time you can mention 2.00 like that.
We have to give manually.
Yeah, if you add the integration, here it will come. Let me show you that. This one. By default, one will come. In the future, if you want to change, then you can mention 2.00 like that. I will take one dedicated session for the versions, cloning, migrations.
Okay.
The last classes I will tell you.
Yeah.
For now, you can mention one only, but in the future, I will cover version, cloning, migration, deployment. So there is a one dedicated 1 hour session I will take for this one.
Okay.
So now, after you create the integration, click on this one. So what is the starting point, guys, of the integration? What is
REST
starting? REST.
connection.
Because we already created the REST connection, right? So starting point will be REST. Click on plus. Take this one. Click on plus. Take this one. Because the only one connection available, right? That is the reason it is taking. But if you have n number of connections available, then it will show in number of connections here. So it will ask which point, like starting point is which one, REST or SOAP, or maybe now we have only one, right? So in the future we will see multiple connections. You can see here. So I'm taking the starting point will be trigger connection. The connection whatever I have created that I'm taking. Let me note down the step. Create the integration. Fourth step. Starting point to take as REST connection. Starting point means trigger. So now what you want to do this REST endpoint. So I want to concatenate. Hello. Concatenate. Any name. Concatenate two strings. This name can be any name. Click on continue. So we can configure one integration, multiple REST endpoints. So 11 REST endpoints we can create. So did you observe, guys, when we discussed about the bank REST APIs? So the path is same, but REST endpoints are different, right? Get one REST endpoint, get all another REST endpoint. Okay, like that we can create n number of REST endpoints from one integration. So in this example, I am taking only one REST endpoint in one REST integration, but in the coming classes, I will cover multiple REST endpoints also. Click on continue. So what does this operation will do? You mentioned same. Two strings. Guys, if you feel that I'm going fast, you can ask me. I can show. So once you press the plus, this window will be open. So now you tell me, guys, we need to. I told you, right? So every connection, we have some information will be there. So for REST adapter, what information will be there? This information will be there. Get to put to post to delete. So now which one I need to take here?
Get.
Get. So I want to pass the parameters to. I am passing the parameters, right? So click on this checkbox. Configure request payload. I'm not going to pass the payload. So I want to receive the response from this REST endpoint. Click on this. I'm going to pass the parameters and I'm going to receive the response from this REST endpoint. So check these two checkboxes. For example, if you mention the post here, you remember when we create the bank, we pass a payload, right? You remember when we create the data in the bank REST API, so we have passed a payload or not?
Yes.
So that time this will be enabled. See here. Do you observe? Configure this configure a REST request payload for this endpoint. So when you are passing the payload to the REST endpoint, you can mention post. So when you are using the only get, then that will be disabled. Understand, right? So we are going to cover this also in the future. Don't worry. So now this is simple example. I am taking this get operation to pass the parameters first, and it will receive the response. Understand, guys? At this moment, click on continue. Okay. So since we are passing the two parameters, right? So we need, I already told you now. So we need to define the parameter name also, right? So we need to define the parameter name also. Path parameter, template parameter, I already told you now. We need to define the parameter name. So first thing is I am going to define first name. First we are going to take only one parameter. So we will see the second parameter also later. First I am taking only one parameter. So we'll see two parameters approach also. Okay. We can continue. So this slash is the syntax, guys. If you see the standard REST endpoint also, the parameter name should be like this or not. Standard REST API I have shown red bank. So for that also, the curly braces, it will come like that.
So this is mandatory, sir. The syntax should be like this.
Syntax should be like this, mandatory only.
Okay.
If you are passing the parameter, the syntax should be like this. Okay, I will go to the OER so that you will get the clarity. Our application. Financials. Integrate. Review REST API services. So all the REST APIs, for example, if you take the bank, if you are passing the parameter, it will be like this. Slash will be there. So in this example, they have given cash banks, right? So I have given my REST endpoint name is concatenation of the two strings.
Okay, sir.
Click on continue. So in this request parameters, we are passed two parameters, first name. So this is the string, right? If you want to change the data type also, you can change. So it is a string. Click on continue. If you want to pass any other parameter, you can pass here. So I am taking only one parameter at this moment, template parameters or path parameters, both are same. Click on continue. So we need to define the response. So JSON format response, how it will be, guys? JSON format response, how it will be? It will be like this, right?
Open and close bracket, single quote.
The JSON response will be like this. Full name. full name, right? So my output name should be full name. My output name should be full name. We need to pass the structure. Any name, this name can be any name. So this structure can be any name. So this full name and this is the name data. This is the data and this is the column name. So like that we need to pass. So we need to pass the response payload, how the response payload should be. So this is the column name, any name you can give, and this is the sample data I have passed to this column. Continue. So JSON can support, REST API can support JSON, XML text, and other media. But always, guys, when we are working on the real time, most of the 99% of the cases, JSON format we are going to the REST APIs format we are going to the JSON. So we have configured the request. In the request, we have passed the 2 parameters. Then we are configuring the response also. So in the REST API connection, we are taking 2 things. One is request configuration. So we have passed the 2 parameters. In this example, first I have taken the first name only. After that, I will add the last name also. First, I have configured the first name and the parameter. And how you want to get the response. That response payload also I have passed here. You can continue. For example, in your REST endpoint, we have one more column in there. Something. So then you can define like this. In this example, we are taking only one column and one data. So that is the reason I added only one column and one data. Continue. Finish. Continue. Okay. Finish. So it will come like this starting point. So if you want to define this design and development should be vertical development or horizontal development. So always we will go for the vertical development. Why? Because vertical development space is very less. Horizontal development we have more space is there. Click on horizontal. So here we have configured the request and we have configured the response. And it will, this point will be here the exact output, the response will return. What response we have configured, that response will return here. So this is the response. And this is what we have configured the request. First in the request, we have configured only one parameter and later stages we will do another parameter. And we have configured the response also here. And this will be exact output, it will come here. And we have configured the request and response, right? So how you are going to map with the request and response? How you are going to map with the request and response? So that will be taken care by mapper. So how we have configured the request and response here, right? So how we are going to link the request and response? That will be taken care by mapper. Understand or not? So using this mapper only, we are going to connect with the request and response. In the response, what you passed, in the response we passed this one. In the request, what we have passed?
First.
Request we mention as first name. First name as parameter. Request we mention first name as parameter. Okay. Sixth response. We are going to mention as response. We are going to mention as response. Sample response. I need to sample response. We are going to mention as below.
So is it a mandatory sample response?
Because we have checked the checkbox now. You remember, right? Here, did you observe? Continue. So here we have mentioned, right, configure this endpoint to receive the response.
Okay.
So if you are not adding this one, then you don't need to mention. But we want to see the output, right? So that is the reason we are mentioning this one. So without this also we can cover in the coming classes, that I will tell you with which scenarios. Okay.
Vamshi, but we have hard coded there in that response payload, right?
That is sample, na? That I am telling you. That is in sample. Sample
Okay,
means
after we got the response, it will display the actual value which we are
exactly
passing parameter.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
See, that is the reason I'm telling you sample. Example, sample or example, I can say. Sample or example, how the output should come. So this is just I'm passing hard coding value. But when we pass the actual actual REST API parameter, based on that will come the output. Okay. Here are the changes. So I told you, right? You remember for every integration, we have an error will be there by default. Here, this is errors. And we have configured the request and response, right? So how we are going to link the request and response using this mapper. So this mapper, if you see background color dot 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 dot, did you observe? In the mapper we have a dot 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 or something, is no?
Yeah.
So what is the indication you have not done any mapping? If you done the mapping for the request and response using this mapper, so this dot 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 symbol will not come. So this dot 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 symbol indicates what you are not done any mapping for this request and response. So if you map request and response, this dot 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 symbol will not come. So mapper, what you can do, you can tell me. Click on edit. Click on edit. Okay. So I pass the two parameters, right? Path parameters or template parameters. So path parameters or template parameters. How many parameters I passed? One or two?
One parameter.
One parameter I passed. Here, one parameter. And what you want to display output? Output what I passed here?
Full name.
What I passed full name?
Vamshi Krishna,
No, column name, full name, right?
full name.
Column name, full name. See, now you will see the full name here. Okay. Now what you want to do? The data of the parameter should be sent to here, right? The data of the first name, whatever you passed in the REST API, that should be sent to here, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So just do like this. That's it. Save. Validate. But is this the correct what we are doing as per the requirement? Yes
You
or
are
no?
mapping to target connection.
But what can you tell me? Is this the correct or wrong?
But one column it's okay for multiple
Yeah,
columns.
first we are seeing only one column, but there is a one more is there, na? We have not added anything in this one.
Concatenating with hello, right?
Yeah, correct. This is not there, right? So for that, what you will do? You select this design. You select this design. You select this design. So you go to toggle function. You go to toggle function. You go to toggle function. Search here. This is the OIC functions concatenation. So drag and drop the concatenation. So what you want to concatenate?
Hello.
Hello. And this name. So this is called transformation, guys. So we are passing the data first name, but client is what client is telling? No, I don't want to pass the first name. I want to pass the hello and as well as the whatever the value you passing. Save. Understand or not? It is coming error, right? So this is not accepting. Remove this
No.
one.
No, after first name, no concat, right?
Sorry, this is, I think, removed concat.
At the end also, we need to remove, right? So now client is passing only one parameter, but he wants to see hello space parameter value.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Like this. So to avoid the confusion, guys, I'm deleting the mapper. You can do like this also. Very simple way I will tell you. Mapper I'm deleting. Delete mapping. Okay. So now what you will do? Simple way. So because if you want to directly data should be passed to first name to here, then you can do directly like this. But you want to do some transformation, right? So what you will do? Select the full name. Delete target node also. Because we have done the mapping, right? That is the reason it is saying like that. So full name select here. Create target node. First it will be like this. If you want to directly pass the data, then you can map like this, guys. Just I have shown. So I have deleted that mapping and I have deleted the target node. Now I am deleting. Now I am adding the create target node. So now what you will do? You drag and drop the concatenation function here. Then you can do like this. This is very simple way. Hello, and then pass the first name here. Map save like this. Validate. Understand or not, guys? Following or not? So just hello, double quotes, and the first name you can map here like this. Validate. So if you want to directly the data should be passed, then first name you can map here. But here we need to do some transformation, right? So that is the reason. First name, you need to map like the first name. You need to send here, and hello should be prefix. Validate. Now you will see that dot symbol will not come in the mapper. So if you look at this one, mapper will not see that dot symbol. Save the changes. Understand, guys, or any confusion here? So first we have configured the request and response here. So that request and response we have mapped using the hello string, and the response will come here. So mapping of request and response done using mapping mapper, and that response output will come into this. So while we do the REST connection here, so there are multiple options are there. Pass the parameters, pass the payload, and pass the output response. So there are multiple options are there. So we have mentioned the response output, right? So that is the reason in the mapper you will see the response here, the full name here. So this name where we have configured, you remember I have configured, right, in the payload, how the output payload should come. And the parameter what I passed, first name parameter I passed. Last name I have not done, that also I will show you. After you done the mapping, for example, in the payload, you have one more column in there. So here 2 columns will come. So that and all we will see one by one, guys. First, we are seeing 1 column approach. We will see 2 column approach also. Validate. Any question you can ask me at this moment. So since this integration still have errors, so you will see the it is showing the draft status. So to become integration draft to configure, so what you need to do? So there is a, I told you, errors is there. If I click here, it is showing errors, right? So click on errors, click on edit. So I told you, right, one of the value tracking identifiers we need to pass. So what value you want to pass? First name I want to pass. As soon as you do this one, this step I already told you yesterday. So one of the tracking identifier, one of the integration value you need to pass in the business identifiers or tracking identifiers. So then only you will not see any errors. You know it is showing as error, right? So when you when I press the save, the integration dropped to configured, it will show. Save. This yesterday I have shown. See the integration status, it is showing as the configured. Understand or not?
Yes, Vamshi.
So when the integration status is configured, then only you can activate. When the integration status is dropped, you cannot activate. So when the integration activate, then only you can run. It will be like this, guys. It will be first, it will be a draft which contains errors. So how to remove the errors? You need to add one of the value from the integration. So what value I have taken? Any value. You can take any value. That value it will display when we run the integration. So that is the
Yes.
mandatory to add any one of the value from the integration in the business identifiers. Or tracking. After that, what will happen? It will be configured. So after
One of the value. So one of the value means if we have parameter, we can map, right? If we don't have parameters, Vamshi.
It will ask. I will tell you. For example, you don't have any parameters, right? So maybe some like request payload you are passing something. So this is in this example, first name is there, right? So there may be another examples where passing the payload. Payload also that contains some columns, right? So any column, any of the value you can pass. So in case, yeah, whatever you're asking, that is genuine question only. Even though there is no payload, so it will give the get some name URL name. It will ask. At least URL name also will be there.
So that return contains at least parameter, payload, or URL. Without these
Anything.
three, we cannot
Yes,
have
correct.
anything.
Correct. Without this one, you cannot run. Okay. So now after it is tracking, then configured. After configured, then activate. In the integration status, if it is draft, then we cannot activate. In the integration status, if it is draft, we cannot activate. In the integration status is active. In this case, integration how errors. In this case, integration will not have any errors. Understand or not? In this case, integration have errors. In this case, integration will not have. And here 7 in the mapper map the request parameter to response. In the mapper map the request parameter to response parameter. With concatenation of hello. With concatenation of hello. Understand or not? So click on, go back. So now click on activate. So when we activate, so when we click on activate, there are 3 options it will show. When we click on activate, there are 3 options it will show. When we click on activate, there are 3 options it will show. Production, audit and debug. Production, audit, debug. Production, audit and debug it will show. So this part I will explain tomorrow. Topic is thank you. So anything you want to ask at this moment?